And now we are in a global world that you can influence people from wherever in this world for as long as you attain. The reason as to why some of us have not even discovered that we are leaders is because we lack the confidence. Even when they tell you to pray for the food, ngebigambo bibula. Like seriously. Even when they tell you it's a meeting, there is one who gave me a testimony that ever since they started coming here for the Hold My Hand, recently there was a work thing and there were over, I think, 200 people. And for the first time, she stood and she was the master of ceremony. And she was like, I didn't know I had developed this kind of confidence, but I was like, confidence? Bagamba confidence is bare. Wanje? You know those terms. Yeah, you people are looking at me like you don't know. You know, confidence is really, really important. So when it comes to leadership and influence, let me tell you, people that are influencing people in the negative way, they have the audacity and the confidence. The audacity, and then they don't give up. Walera olabyeko muferenga agendo kuba. Tava kusimu yo. Ayinza okukubira otuuse oziweereza ziri meka nga naziraba nga, like seriously, because they don't want to give you a breathing time. But for us, you can go neba kubba, no, or even if it's over taxi, by the way, takes extra money and then you're not able to claim your 500. Like seriously, ozimu wanasirika notuko okuva mnogamba sijja mu batheringa mama yabadde amanyi nti alina okuzimpa. Like seriously, it's your 500,000. Claim it. Okay? You go to a shop, you can't bargain for a cloth. You get into a relationship and someone tells you that, you know what, I don't think I'm really ready for a relationship. But because for you, you think you're ready, you avail yourself. When someone tells you something, believe it. When they tell you I'm not material, relationship material, run away for your dear life. Okay? So let's not forge life because we want. So I think you have seen that sequence. Let's talk about application, developing influence. Okay? What you can do to develop more influence for the next level. We're not talking about influence for where we have been, what we have failed. We're talking about influence for the next level. You have to put a plan in place to get to the next level of leadership. The queen of plans is Coach Fifi. She even says it 3 times and even posts it, plan. If you don't have her journal, you're still lagging behind. If you don't plan to do something, one thing I discovered, and I've said about this so many times, but there is something beautiful about clarity and what you want to get into. Because then it clears, it paves a way for so many things. So many things. If you don't plan on something, we keep stumbling. You stumble into a relationship. You stumble into giving birth. You stumble into a marriage. You stumble into, even in places at church, some of you are stumbling into leadership positions because they're looking around and they're like, you know what? Can you take up this position? And then you take up the position, but you lead from behind. You're not influencing. Have you seen people that lead from behind? They are timid. They are cowards. They don't have the confidence, but they will tell you how to do, to collect, but they're not willing to actually spearhead anything, okay? So influence, you have to plan. And that means you have to have your priorities in order. Priorities in order. If you plan to have influence, that means you need to work smarter, number 1. And I think I will have to go through this very quickly so that we don't miss out on the other session. You have to work smarter because it has high returns. Working smarter is not working too hard, okay? Asking yourself, if I want to be a good leader, for example, I'm training to be a mentor, I'm training to be a coach, I'm training to have influence on people and positive influence, okay? What do I need to do? And that is what we teach you in the mentorship, to work smarter, okay? Sigambye tojagenda kuchizindalo gambe banange transformation yezze. Find your niche. Know exactly where you belong. As in, make work easy for you. Some of us, work was never easy. For example, the reason as to why I started the mentorship is because no one held my hand. I literally bumped into everything and found my own path. No one told me that there is anything like a niche. So I started wanting to be a counselor. And so I get into counseling and I'm like, no, there is something better than counseling, or there's something more about counseling. So even when I'm going to counsel, what am I going to counsel about? No one told me that there is anything like a niche. No one told me that there is anything like passion. And yet I did 3 years at campus doing that. Now, that is when I knew that, by the way, I actually need to elevate and go for a master's. When I went for a master's, that's when I knew I had to actually niche down, and I knew that I had to follow my heart. No one was going to tell me what I needed to do. So I actually knew that I paid fees to go and lecture myself, and just discover myself. It was self-discovery. I paid 3 years, potea, nothing. Twakuba amachupa ebifaananyi by'amachupa ku campus. And then when I went to one of my lecturers for a session, because I was going through the roughest patch of my life, my friend, she could not even tell me anything. Like, seriously. I poured my heart out, told her everything, and then she looked at me and she told me, you're going to be okay. And then I knew there was something wrong. Like, seriously, that is when that session for me was mind-blowing, because she was she was a professor. For that session, like, it was mind-blowing because it helped me identify a gap. So I was like, what exactly am I going to do? I've actually been doing way better than she has done. So that means I need to be able to find my own footing. And that is when I found it. Now, when it comes to working smarter, when you find a working formula and you're like, find your niche, follow your purpose. Go on social media, know exactly the people that you're influencing. This is how you package. This is how you create courses. This is how you create products. This is how you are finding a smarter way of operation. Okay? And then number 2, you can't have it all. You can't have it all. Working smarter means identifying where your strength should go and cutting your strength from everything else. If you know there are some vampires in your life that are draining your life, no manya, I have to cut off these vampires. Okay? If you know that where you're putting your energy, actually it's not even appreciated, you cut off. Some of us are over-serving where we are not even appreciated. So you know that, what, I am going to concentrate on this thing because I have seen it work. There is a working formula. And then out of this working formula, I can develop so many other things. So you cannot have it all. You cannot have it all. Number 3, you have to be proactive. Nothing is going to find you. The life that you want, you have to go out and create it. It's not going to come to you. Remember, we're talking about leadership. If you want to be a leader that has influence, when you look, and I know that we all have people that we admire. You look at them and you're like, oh my God, how they look, how they smell, like what comes out of their mouth. Like, you just love everything about them. That is a magnet that should be pulling you to say that, you know what, there are certain steps that I must take. I must be proactive. You coming here is proactiveness on your side. You did not wait for this life to come to you. You came to it. And let me tell you, it takes a lot of humility. A lot of humility. For any of us, because I have gone to I've attended some conferences. I have, even internationally, even online, and maybe someone would have said, but Bahati, that is, you're also here. We thought you knew everything. I can't know everything. I am still in the learning process. And one thing that I have identified and is so important to me, I can learn from each one of us. All of you have strengths. When I talk about child upbringing, my sister here, she will hold my hand in that arena. Okay? If I talk about, planning and living an organized life, Coach Fifi is there to keep me focused. I can't have it all. If I am thinking about my socials and my brand and how it's going to grow, Ben is there. I have made sure that I surround myself with a support system and people that are actually holding my hand to grow. So for them, they will look at me and say, Hilda is our coach. Hilda is, this. Hilda, little, and I keep telling them, you are holding my hand. I could never have done anything without you people being pillars in my life. So that means we learn from all sources. So be proactive and make sure that you go out there. Now, there is a time we talked about the reactors and initiators. How many of us were in that session? Reactors and initiators. For the sake of those that were not here, I want us to run through it very quickly. You just have initiators and reactors. Remember, we talked about being proactive, working smart, and you can't have it all. Now, when you come to the initiators, they prepare. Okay? You know you're going to lead people, so you cannot lead from behind. You have to have the prior knowledge of how you're going to lead them. So you prepare, okay? Let's go through the initiators first, then we will go through the reactors, okay? The initiators, you prepare. Number 2, you plan ahead. Let's go to seizing the moment, putting their priorities in their calendars. We talked about that. You put your priorities, mark what do you want to do. Someone was wanted a session, and it was so urgent because they called me and I was like, you know what? I am afraid I actually am booked up until January. The sessions I can have are starting with February 1st. And I was like, but I can refer you to a colleague that I work with. And I have so many colleagues and coaches here, and I know their strengths. So if this person wants anything to do with children, I know Coach Fifi is here, I know Coach Janet is here. If someone wants to do something with marriage, I know Coach Christine is here, Coach Zai is here, so I know everyone's niche, and I know what they can do. And that is why I take it upon myself to train you myself so that I can be able to recommend you. Because then I know you will deliver. So now I'm being able to, because I knew I would not serve the entire world. So I'm being able to reproduce myself and mark my words. For those of you that have come to my inbox and you've told me, I would love to be like you, I have told you you can even be more than me. Because I am not replicating a lesser brand. I am actually not duplicating myself because I am less. I am creating a formidable brand that is invisible, that is going to penetrate this generation more than I've penetrated it. So most of you know the jargons of this nation. Some of you are going to be better than me even at social media. Some of you are going to speak to nations. Your calling is not even here in Uganda. This is just a starting point and a stepping stone for you to actually cast yourself wide. But only those that are going to initiate are going to get to those heights. You do not become better than Bahati by folding your hands or by reacting to situations. You seize the moment when you see it. Okay? So, you put your priorities. You can't arrange your priorities minus knowing them. So you must know them in order to prioritize them. And then invest time in people. We talked about investing time in people. I have invested time in people time and again. There is no loss in investing time in people. No loss in investing time in people. I am here. I have a 7-month-old. He is sick. But he is in the capable hands of my sister that I know will do anything together, as in even if it means putting down her life for my son, she will. Because I've invested time in her. And it's not just being appreciative, but I discovered that is her strength. Okay? So, invest time in people. When you pour into people's lives, a lot of those, even if those people, I think we were here, and allow me call you Coach Catherine. She told us something that was very profound, that do not wait to sow where you are reaping. Because some of us are putting in seeds netuzitakula. Yameze? No. Sometimes the blessing that God has prepared is from another door altogether. It's not where you are sowing, but when you are sowing, sow with resilience, sow with patience, sow with commitment, sow with consistency. Do not give up. You can never know where it's coming. You can't. When I was beginning this kind of work, little did I know that it will not just stop at me being on TV and being in magazines and having such events. I didn't know that I would attract the international market. Right now, I am being paid for not doing anything. You understand that? Because when I say it, like, it sounds so funny. But you're being paid. Checks come in every month. And I am no longer counting. I am no longer even anticipating Smanyu which day. I don't know which day they drop. But it's not like I have to lift a finger to do anything. Like what I have established consistently. The bears and the demons and the lions that have fought in the background right now speak louder for me. Because the manifestation has happened. Okay? So, I need you to take that step and invest in people. Care about people. Love them. Okay? Love on them. Even those that are unlovable. Waliwo abantu abatayagalika. Naye ne bwajjanga tayagalika. Find one thing to love about them. Okay? Find one thing to love about them. I think it was today I picked a call and this person, actually no, it was a message. You know, the person who will tell you the same thing over and over and over again, and it's totally outside your scope. So I'd referred them, you know, tried to do what, but I was like, you know what, for only this time, I will time the time I'm in office and I will tell them right now I have time. You have 30 minutes to reach my office. When I met this person, like, he sounded so disorganized, like there was nothing like adding up coming from them. But guess what? This person had connections. And the little time that I gave him, he was like, you know what? I know people who will need your services. You've given me time. You've listened to me. In your busy schedule, you were even getting out and you stayed for me. I have people who need your services. Connected me to some Sudanese, connected me to some Liberians, connected me. And I will tell you the reason as to why I'm opening about all this. I think I have gotten more than, what will I say? More than 40 millions from the connections that the person has given me. I saw him free of charge. And I was like, you know what? You know, like that person in the Bible where she was saying that, you know what? I was that kind of judge. I was like, you know what? This person has been too much. Let me give them time. And I was like, 30 minutes. I think he left everything he was doing and came. But I realized that this person actually has a lot more potential. But because of what they're going through, you know, problems can cause people to act like they're crazy. So I needed to actually read into them and have the spirit of discernment to know what they're going through because they could not even put it in words. So I told him that this and this is what is bothering you. So let's find together a solution because I cannot find a solution alone. And we went through the criteria and the options. I was like, why didn't I think about that? And then after that, he's like, this is my card. Contact me. I have people that I need to put, to put to you. And only that, caring about, because I could have said, you know what, if you don't have this amount of money, you can't see me. But I was like, you know what, let me hear them out. It seems that there is something bigger that is happening in their lives than they even care to elaborate. So love people and take care of people. It's going to take you very, very, very far, okay? How you care about people. Some of you will ask me, how do I love people? How do I care about people? If you work in a boutique, and I come to you once and I come to you twice, the next time you should know my size and you should know my taste. Wanji, and you should be able to suggest a few things and say, Bahati, according to how I see you and what you do, because, I mean, what does it take? These days we are in a social media. When someone comes to you and they give you their name and their number, go in the habit of checking them out. It's like, according to what you do, and you know, this would look good on you. Then I'm like, this person took extra care of actually knowing what will look good. Let me tell you, people will even buy when they don't need. Why? Because you took time and loved them. I want you to think about me. Like I matter. I'm a client. We say clients are king, right? So when you love on people, what kind of business are you doing? What kind of job are you doing? Consultancy, where you must be a lover of people. Yeah, you must be a lover of people, because if it's consultancy, people are going to come with lack of clarity. People are going to come, you know, and they need more clarity from you. They need guidance from you, or they need, so they need you to be knowledgeable, because you are the source, you know, of knowledge for them. So that means you must love them enough, even when they are slow thinkers, to still elaborate. Someone will call you, you had a meeting, you went through the whole process, and they will still call you and say, Mpozi, what did you say? And you say, oh God, do I have to repeat the whole process again? But as a lover of people, when you repeat the process, it determines whether that person is going to give you that deal or not. It's very possible that he called another person and is like, you know what? I attached it on email. We took a minute, and we took 30 minutes to go through it. I clearly don't have any more time to clarify. But because you were humble enough to say, what exactly didn't you understand? And maybe they will tell you, this policy, I need to be able to understand. And you take and they're willing to pay. They're like, you know what? You've even guilt-trapped them. They're like, this person was so good to me. There is no way I can take this business to another place. Do you see that when you care about people, it comes back to you in a way. So don't expect from the same people that you're caring for, but it can come back in so many different ways, okay?